Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to No Cupcake Zone podcast. To be updated with the latest podcasts, please go to Spreaker and follow and like my podcast. Please also go to iTunes and subscribe and rate and review my podcast. If you want to be on the show or want information on my exclusive media package, contact me at johnsonmarce@gmail.com. That's JOHNSONMARCE@gmail.com. Also follow me on Twitter at No Cupcake Zone 80. Thank you so much for listening. This is when twerk was really twerk. You already know what it is. Let me let this thing ride a little bit. This is for the 80s babies and the 90s teenagers. You already know what it is. If you don't know what this is, you are hidden under a rock. Hey, we got to keep it PG. But anyways, man, it's your boy, Triple BLACK, a.k.a. the number one stunner, a.k.a. the boss, a.k.a. dark hair, black suit, smoking a black and mild. You already know what it is, man. I'm excited as hell right now, man. You know, the reason I'm excited, you know, we got a golden eagle in the building. They're not actually in the building, but they're on their airwaves. So it's all, you already know what it is. But anyways, man, what's up, Denson? How you living?
I was good, man. I'm living, man. I'm back in Naples. I'm settled down. I'm trying to make something out of what's going on with me and my fiance. Currently got two young kids, and I got two additional kids from previous relationships. So right now, man, father of four, trying to get on the ground, trying to get into my little entrepreneurship, little venture that we got going on, just trying to make money. I started my own organic coffee line with me and my fiance. So we've been to the whole holistic approach and, you know, making organic products for people to live a better lifestyle and stop wasting money on expensive stuff that's not doing nothing for them. So that's what I'm dabbling in right now, man, working and just trying to grind. And I'm actually back out coaching, too, at the Gators, too.
Yeah. So you're making body scrubs? My girl is actually an esthetician, and she used to make a mean coffee scrub, man. Talk about your product, man.
Too, man. Yeah, we make coffee scrubs, we make foot scrubs, facials, shampoo, we making shampoos, conditioner, lotion. You name it, we make it all, man. And we're doing it 100% raw and organic, with the best vitamins and nutrients anybody can be putting on their body and putting in their skin. And we just go by the whole approach. If you can't eat it, why put it on your skin?
Right, man.
If you can't consume it naturally, why put it on your skin? And that whole approach, like, we talking about cosmetics and makeup and making lotion, man. I would never imagine this, but yo, it opened my eyes up to something bigger. So like that's what my focus is. That's what I'm doing right now.
No, that's good, man. I like that, man. But so you're daddy daycare right now. It serves your ass right for all those damn tantrums that you used to fucking pull. So now your ass is karma, you know?
Yes, sir.
On the sideline, crying, going crazy. What, man? That serves your ass right, man. You got food now.
Yeah. Nobody never knew what that whole me throwing tantrums in football came from, besides being a big baby. People didn't understand, like, yo, only reason why I played football is my uncles and my mom, they made a compromise with me. They said, listen, we tired of you fighting everybody in the projects. You can go play football, and when the whistle blow, until you can hit people as hard as you want to, and you're not going to get in trouble. I said, well, I signed up. When? Y'all serious? I ain't going to say nothing. No matter what I do, man, I was hooked. So they told me I had to hit somebody and not get in trouble. So every time you see me on the football field, man, it was just me being extra passionate that I got a chance to go out there and just, you know what I'm saying, be able to go 100% full speed all the time, not hear nobody say, Junior, stop. Junior, don't do this.
Okay.
It just me being wild.
Hey, talk about the transformation of you wearing an ugly number like 74, crying on the sideline, to toting the rock and being very effective.
Well, what it had came up was, y'all know, you have to look at this, everybody that's involved in the Gators and that played on that team. The whole aspect of it is I'm the baby of the clique. I'm the youngest kid out of all of us.
Yeah.
So the first natural position when I came out there to play football was, you know, I'm the smallest, I'm the youngest. They didn't know where to put me. And somebody, I think it was Tori Reese and Herschel, they was volunteering. And none of the coaches out there knew me, but they knew me from the projects. And they just told the coaches, like, yo, this little boy right here, bad. Yo, put him right here at nose guard. Put him right here in front of the center. And he's gonna hurt somebody. Just leave him right here. And that's where it started. They gave me 74, and I grew up playing nose guard. Like, that's what everybody knew me from as a kid, that nobody could block. Always getting sacks. Like, you know, I average about, everybody, it's not a lie, I average about 6 or 7 sacks a game. When we played Pop Warner. Yeah, every play I'm blowing up the center. You couldn't snap the ball.
Now, I remember, man, but when you wasn't, you know, going crazy, you know, and your mama trying to calm you down on the sidelines, you were, you know, getting busy on the field, man. You were getting busy, bro. Yeah. And you were the person, man, I swear to God, dog, if you do the 6 degrees of separation, you might be related to everybody in Naples, Florida.
That's what people don't understand either. Like, yes, that's the craziest thing. That's why a lot of the things that happen with football and life with me is because I have so many cousins. I'm related to so many people. Like, I never wanted to play football. Everybody don't understand the tantrum on the sideline I'm throwing is me and my mom fighting. I quit practice. I quit football every day. I used to take off my equipment and say, I'm not playing no more. And everybody could tell you that play was my mom would chase me down, run me down, pick me up, and put me right back on the football field. She has my MVP of my Mighty Mighty years. The coach gave, he said, listen, we wouldn't be half the team if it wasn't for Junior's mom, so come up here and get our award. I promise you. My first touchdown I ever scored, matter of fact, we played a game in Lehigh, I remember one time, and one touchdown I ran, my mom was on the sideline, running the touchdown right along with me. I just had enough, you know, like that was another outbreak. So what y'all seen was really Junior and his mom were going off on each other in the middle of the games and stuff.
Hey, so talk about, when did it really click for you, man, in football? Do you remember a year or a moment?
To be honest, the first snap I played football is, if you go into the history of who my family is, all right, I'm related to Charlie Bird, Tyler Bird, Henry Thomas, Sweet Pea, Rodney Rogers. You got Dwayne Mobley, Mark Pearson. We got Anthony Phillips. You got how many more of us? Clint Mobley, Cliff Mobley. How many more can I just sit there and say? There's just so many more that I can keep going on. And then we have a family that's all over in Tampa. That's good. That's in Georgia and all these other places. And then on my father's side of the family, Denson, we're related all of Denson's got all types of records in Florida. So I could not escape football. Everywhere I went was football, football, football. Every family function, everybody got football.
Yeah, man. I remember growing up, one of your uncles was at Sweet Pea. He was a pretty good, talented player out of Lely, man. Where did he end up?
Oh man, speaking of that's my biggest inspiration in football is my uncle Sleepy. He ended up his senior year. He led Lely to the first appearance in the state championships from any high school was I think the '87 Lely team. He took them all the way down to the states, but I think he broke his leg before right before they played. I think it was Live Oak, Swanee, maybe back when they used to be a big powerhouse. So he had broke his leg his senior year. He ended up going to Alabama and playing for Sanford, where he had to change positions. Yeah. He was always a running back at Lely. When he went to college, they switched him to linebacker, and he balled out. He was All-American, getting ready to take it to the league. Something happened to him his senior year with his eligibility where Terry Bowden, I think it was one of Coach Bowden's sons, messed up his they did something to his red shirt where they put him on a meaningless kickoff in the game and didn't know that started his eligibility for his clock. So when his senior year came around, he thought he had a red shirt senior year, and then his time was up and expired. He had to walk off the practice field, and that's what happened to us senior year.
So he played at Alabama or Sanford?
He played at Sanford University in Alabama.
Oh, bro. So Jimbo Fisher, I know coached there and also played there. Did he play with the years Jimbo Fisher?
I think he might have been a coach, but it was I'm trying to remember who's Manny Morgan from Naples. He's playing. Their head coach is one of the Bowden sons.
Yeah, Terry Bowden. No, I know Jimbo Fisher is from that whole Bowden tree, and he was a graduate assistant at Sanford.
During those times
with Terry Bowden.
Matter of fact, I think he might have been a defense coordinator. I have to ask my uncle too, because I think that's how he's tied in. It was one of these coaches that are really famous that was pushing for him to do more than just be like a Division NCAA linebacker. They saw real potential. A lot of teams overlooked him because of how short he was. But as far as his play, everybody kept telling him 3 or 4 more inches, you in there, man. He was balling like he should be there.
So he was your biggest influence growing up?
Oh yeah, man. Every time, as a man, when you're looking for like an inspiration, it was him. I always watch him come home. Every practice, he's sweating, he going hard, and like everybody always talking about him. And he always invested in time. And me, as being his nephew, he always took time out. And to this day, he always take his time out, come see about me, come check on me, make sure I'm all right. Yeah. Like, he was like a second father to me. So every time he was doing something in football, I was like always following behind him, watching everything he was doing. And then my uncle started having his success at Lady too. When Shay started playing football, I'm always following behind Shay. And then it went to DeMar, and then with Clinton, and went to all the boys that was in town. I just started following everybody. I started becoming obsessed.
Yeah, that's crazy. Your uncle was my nephew's football coach this year. Lely Trojans. It was crazy. I got to watch my nephew throw his first touchdown pass. He was starting quarterback. Because the starter got hurt, and that was that's the 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, man, it all functions. And the whole thing about the Gator program is what a lot of people don't know is Charlie Bird's mom is my grandmother's sister. Like, they all came from Georgia. Like, our whole family moved down here from Georgia. They had 13 brothers and sisters. I think 6 or 7 of them ended up coming down to Florida. Another 6 stayed in Georgia. Well, Charlie Bird, his mother is the one who helped found and start the Naples Gators program with the Police Athletic League. They're the one who started PAL, and they're the one who got the blacks and the whites to start merging together in Naples and started playing youth sports together, because there used to be a separation of black and white. during that time period. And they were the ones who broke the color barrier. My mother's actually the first black cheerleader in Collier County.
Wow. Man, you come from quite a pedigree, because Charlie Bird, this is way before everybody, in Southwest Florida. I heard he was the man. Yeah, he was the man around here.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was known. It was just not him. It was we had another cousin too, and they were paired together. His name was Nate. Nate Nathaniel Phillips, and so it was Charlie Bird, Nathaniel Phillips, and then they also had another brother who had came down from Georgia. He would play ball in Georgia. It was basically them three. They were making a name for themselves down here, and so everywhere we went, and when people found out who we were, they it was automatically assumed that we had to play some type of sport. That's all they knew, that we were athletes.
Yeah, man. So the '96 Gators. I mean, before we get into that, man, talk about some notable players, because I know you got a good memory that you played with and grew up with. Like, you were like, dang, this guy right here is for real.
Man, I think this is one kid that he's from Fort Myers. His name was Deontay Thompson. Deontay Thompson and Mike Thompson.
Yeah.
Remember, he was number 5 for Riverdale.
Number 5?
Your senior year, he was the running back.
Now, I remember, they had some killers like Philip Buchanan. There's this one guy named
Philip played for Lehigh.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Pop Warner. He played for Riverdale. And,
that's the killer, man. We could not stop him for that was our limited growing up. I always thought that kid was the best thing I've ever seen in football. He ran so hard. Like, to me, I'm the type of person that says, no matter what age level you want to compare to actually who I ever seen, I'm going to tell you at the time period, when I was on the football field, I always felt like I was the most dominant player. I'll tell you when I felt most insecure on the football field, and that's the kid he's the only one who ever made me insecure on the football field ever.
Who?
This kid, Lamar Thomas, I remember him breaking out on a running time and me beating in the open field, and he ran right through me, man. I've never had nobody do that. I was just looking like, oh, it's time to go back to the drawing board on this.
Yeah. They used to have some killers, man. I remember this one cat named Maurice something. He was he was around my age, but he was like number 34 for Riverdale. Dude was a truth. Bro. I wonder what ever happened to him, because he was Philip Buchanan played, but and a few Buchanan was good, but this guy was on another level.
Man, come on. I thought Philip was.
Yeah, we got Junior back on the phone, man. Something happened. But anyways, man, what we were talking about, Junior, you were talking about the Thomas brothers?
No, not the Thomas brothers. One of them was Thompson, and then the other one, last name was Thomas.
Okay. Now that rings a bell. You said that they played for Riverdale in high school. I remember the one guy. Yeah. He was a shit talker. He was like, "Yeah, we can't be stopped." Yeah, I remember that guy. He was all right. And they had like a taller dude named McDonald. That was okay. Yeah. So
I think he was number 7.
Yeah. So they used to shake you or something?
No, it wasn't that. No, not shake me. No, nobody would shake me. He just was, he was just a kid that he just had some power, man. I tried to wrap him up one play, and he just ran through my tackle.
Yeah.
So it was like he ran me over a little bit. So he kind of like restored my confidence, because I ain't never had anybody like just break out of a tackle once I wrap him up.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. So, man, I know your family was involved with the Gators and stuff. I remember there was one year, it was the weirdest thing that happened to that whole organization. It was so weird. There was like, I know Gators would have been orange and blue, but they literally made you guys orange and blue. What the hell is that all about? Why not just name you guys something else? And it came right at the beginning of the season. It didn't even give you guys a chance at all. Like, talk about that whole thing, man, because that was weird.
I think the whole orange and blue Gators, I think they have started either my peewee or my junior midget year, and it came from it happened internally with the Gators, with a bunch of parents fighting for playing time between their kids, and then just not really happy with the direction of the program was going. Because I guess more inner city kids kept coming out, and at that time, you know, the Gators, they had tryouts or whatnot, so you had to try out.
It was the travel team. You know, if you didn't make the travel team, you go to the city league. Easy as that. If you're not good enough to play or you can't make weight, you know what? I couldn't play because I couldn't make weight. You had to deal with it.
Yeah, but money talks in Naples, and a lot of people, and it was a lot of it going on. You know, some of the parents were donating big sponsorships to the program, and they expect, their kids to play. And when that's not happening, you got to try to get to the root of the problem. And you see the root of the problem is that there's a few more athletes that are playing. They decided, you know what, we have enough to start another organization, and that's basically what they did. So
in other words, little Tyrone was getting too much playing time, and little Billy couldn't see the field. So, Daddy Warbucks came in there and made it rain.
Like basically, and then a little more to that. I probably think some people knew that there was some funny business going on with the people that were running, as far as people dipping their hand in the money and there being a little corruption going on. So add that on to it. It was like they wanted to see some change being made in Pop Warner, and especially with the Gators. So,
but that's just like so disheartening to hear that whole element, because football was like the thing that bridged the gap, between, the classes, the races. Because, I mean, remembering when I was a little kid, I really didn't look at the world that I look at it now. It wasn't whether, you were rich or poor, black or white. It was just who can play football. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know, because I don't know if I've already told you, but my aunt Jenny May, who was Charlie Bird's mother, she's the one who helped trying to help start the Gator organization, or help the Gators come into the black community. And she's the one who really started, the cheer program and football program, and getting the blacks in town to, play with the white kids and whatnot. And they some of the first Pop Warner or first football played in Naples was with that organization.
Wow. They really, I mean, my age group, that whole thing really messed my age group up, because the Hurricanes had a team that was loaded with talent, and we had a team that was loaded with talent. Can you imagine, like, Cedric Morgan and Terrence Morgan, like, sharing the rock?
That was the whole thing that everybody in our league, was especially their senior year. That they were probably the team before our '96 team that could have probably made a statement in Pop Warner. I mean, and our whole organization was like, they're going to split up at this time with this senior group, man, because that was just too much talent on both teams to be split like that. And I remember they ended up losing that senior team with Terrence, and they ended up losing in the States to like the West Orange Wildcats. And I was thinking, imagine they're missing like 6 or 7 other starters from the Orange Gators that could have been on the Blue Gators.
Yeah, they had the Cedric, Titus, James Cody, Chad Desir, Rashad. I mean, both teams were loaded with talent. I mean, I don't get that, but I don't know. That's another story, man. That's politics, politics as usual,
politics.
Man, talk about the politics, man, of the '96 Gators, because I know there was some politics. You know, shout out to Byington, man. I love Ron Byington, man. Y'all coach, man. What you keep in contact with Byington?
Yeah, I see him around every once in a while. You know, I still talk to the coaches. I always have a good relationship with a majority of them. Well, there's only one coach I didn't get along with in the Gators, and that was, there's a big story behind that, and that's where all the controversy probably came in '96 with this one coach.
Hey, man, this is no cupcake zone. Fire some shots.
Well, I mean, everybody knows. Well, we had a coach, Coach Barney, Coach Bill, who basically he wanted to manipulate who he saw in what position, and you know what I'm saying? So he kept certain players from playing spots based upon his favoritism or whatnot. So,
oh boy,
just know I didn't play running back until I got to high school for a reason.
Wow. So are you saying there was some biasness among parents?
No.
Among parents, keyword parents. So there was a person on that team that was getting preferential treatment because of a parent, basically.
Oh yeah, he's the coach's son. Now I mean, he ended up getting lumped up one time in the locker room behind a bunch of mess that was going on with his father. Now, I mean that's another thing that bridged our team even closer that year was we confronted him, the coach, about the politics, about him treating certain players one way and not treating the rest of the team the same way. And, we always felt that, we were just some people that were missing in certain spots that had they been in those spots, we could have been even more dominant. And that's what we were, coming up to him and saying, that's not fair just because, he's his son that he's in this spot. There's a better linebacker than him. There's a better fullback better than him, and he didn't see it that way, and ended up getting his son caught in the crossfire. One day in the locker room, long story short, a couple players got at him.
Gave him 2 pieces in a biscuit.
Yeah, turned the light off on him, and he got worked over a little bit.
Oh Lord. Well, that's so stupid, man. You think about it in the context of things, like we're kids. Like kids supposed to have fun. You're supposed to, prepare your son for the real world. If your son is not good enough for the job, you just got to chalk it up as a loss and let them work harder to be better at that job. Coddling and giving things, just makes your son like a weak person. So, I mean, that was an injustice.
The revelation happened when we got in high school. You shouldn't. When we got to high school, you saw where he lined up.
Where did he play?
Yeah, he played for Gulf Coast, but they had him playing, I think, defensive tackle when we played him, and you don't remember nothing about him because it was unmemorable.
Oh, bro.
He got ran over the whole game, man. Yeah. Like, we lit them up because of him.
So you guys, tell me, man, Renal said that Rochanel and Damien were the 2 fastest people in there, man. And Junior, I know you ain't going to bite your tongue on that, man. Let's talk about that.
No, they were not the fastest on our team. I think what ends up happening is you have people who wanted to race each other. That's it. Like when you have people that sit there and say, "Oh, I'm the fastest, and they're constantly racing each other. The argument stays between the people that are constantly saying they're the fastest. So that's where you come in. But like that year, I think later on that year or the following year, Damian raced me and Dwayne Coleman, and me and Dwayne beat Damian. I raced Rochanel in high school and beat Rochanel, so I don't think those two are the fastest on our team.
So who was the hardest hitter?
It depends, man, because we all had hard hits. Daniel was consistently the hardest hitter because, I think the reason why Daniel was the hardest hitter, like they said, he didn't know his speed, and he didn't know to break down and wrap up, and he didn't know the fundamentals of nothing. Daniel just knew go run full speed and go right through the back of your spine. So you got to think about somebody that with that type of mentality. So on a consistent basis, he was the hardest hitter.
Yeah. So how was Byington back in those days, man? Because I remember he was my coach, my defensive coach, and it was so hilarious because when Byington came to Naples High, he was on a rampage, bro. It seemed like he just loved to ruffle people's feathers. Like, you know how many times that guy searched my car, him and Mr. Bowers, for drugs?
That's your coach, though. That's your coach.
Yeah, before he got to know me, you know how many times I remember him, that's true story, bro. They used to have those random dog, things they used to have.
Searches,
Yeah, get it right. I used to have this big long car, this 73 Buick Electra or 74 Buick Electra. I'm not going to deny, during the weekend, there was some activity going on inside. I was Rosemary's baby, I told you.
I noticed.
We used to experiment with hot boxing and things like that. But who was it?
Naples High.
Yeah, I just said Naples High. Yeah, exactly. But I guess the resin or whatever lingers in there. But anyways, I remember one day they swear they got me. The dog is going crazy. Dog is going nuts, and you can see that little smirk on Bauer's face. He's like, "Yeah, we got your ass. We know we're gonna get a roach in there or something." Byington was just sitting there looking, and we're gonna get you, man. They ripped up my car. They can find nothing but a Black and Mild, and I was like, Byington was like, "All right." I don't know. No, Bowers wasn't out there when he found it. He's like, we didn't get you this time, but here's this. He's like, he gave me the Black and Mild. He's like, rip this up, and I we're gonna get you or whatever. And then nothing ever become of that, but we ended up being like, pretty cool because I played, D-line with him, but I remember Byington when he first came in there, he just wanted to get everybody. They sent his ass on a mission.
Yeah, man. A little assassin.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, man, talk about some tough competitors, man. I know you guys blew out every team. Who was the toughest? Who was the toughest opponent you guys had?
I think the toughest game we played was probably against Cape Coral in the regular season, and we only beat them. The closest game was 28-0. So they had us actually tied 0-0 at halftime or 7-0, and we ended up coming out real sluggish that game because we just underestimated them totally. Just was laughing at them. When we saw them lined up, we were just laughing at the whole football team. We were so full of ourselves that game. And the boys came out, and they were on a mission. They told us their whole mission was to get a first down on us, to get a touchdown on us. So, I mean, when I tell you, we were trading, hits, play after play after play until the second half came out, and we finally, scored a quick touchdown and then just started putting it away on them. And they finally like just broke their back and they finally gave up. But it took almost 3 or 4 quarters to put them away.
Yeah, the Rebels they didn't give you guys any competition. Renal said they had Brandon Battles, Brandon Graham, and they had Andre McGill, Rock Edie, all those, and you guys didn't see them?
No, I mean, they didn't give us a game. I know they ended up, I think, returning like the opening kickoff on us, and then it got called back because they had like 3 or 4 blocking the backs on that play, like ridiculous calls, and then once we lined it back up and got back on the ball and got on defense, the game was pretty much over after the first snap. We just put them away, had them 36-0 by halftime. And that was good. Yeah.
So there wasn't didn't they beat you guys the year before though? And every year up into that point?
Well, no. The '96, the year that we actually won the championship, we were in the 8th grade at the time.
Uh-huh.
We were playing Riverdale and these teams in the 7th grade was in our first year on the scenes. Mm-hmm. We had lost in the state championship. We had won the conference championship, I think 4 or 5 years in a row. At the senior level, like I think I had one. I played on the seniors 3 years in a row. So all 3 years that I played on the seniors, we won the conference championship. We just didn't win nationals and didn't win states.
Wow, because they're usually really tough. Lee County is really tough.
Yeah, I mean they played us hard. Don't get me wrong. Our senior year, we barely beat them. I think we beat them like 8-0 or 6-0. We beat the Rebels, and then it was another 13-7. We beat Riverdale. It was Clewiston was 8-0. Like we only beat these teams like by a touchdown. But like I said, we were in the 7th grade. That following year, we were in the 8th grade, so we were even older, a little bit bigger and faster. The majority of those kids that we were playing, they were in high school. So next year they're gone. We're playing against their younger junior midgets and a few little older lighters that may have stayed back, and we just ran through them. There was nothing they could pretty much do. They had no type of blocking. They couldn't stop our penetration, couldn't stop our offense. We just ran all over them. And the experience of how close we were just added at it, and there was like no competition.
Right. Who do you remember any notable players that was a thorn in your side that year?
No, there was no players. Look at the stats. The stats speak for themselves, man. Like no team if we go back and look at the film, if a team had more than 45 or 50 total yards on us, any team during the regular season or postseason, kudos to them, man. That's the player you need to be talking about. Other than that, you can't say somebody stood out if their team had negative yards.
Yeah, man. So, man, you guys were really, really close-knit, man. And so those years of playing with each other, how much do you think that contributed to you guys beating teams that bad? Because, you guys had a team full of athletes. You think had you guys didn't know each other or established that team chemistry would have been any different?
I mean, from the guy who's listening to the interview, just ask him. No doubt how, it played a big part. We would be on defense talking to each other, calling slants. The coach would tell us what plays to run, but we would literally be in the game talking to each other like, hey, we're going to all slant right. We're all going to pinch through this gap. We're all going to run through here. We were talking, communicating in the game to know what to do while we were out there actually playing. The linebackers were walking up to the defensive lineman, telling them, hey, when you go through this gap, I'm going to blitz here right behind you. And it was just evident when you watch the film. I mean, every team is going backwards every single snap of the play. The penetration was something crazy. And that's just us talking every single play, talking to each other. It wasn't the coaches. It was the kids on the field communicating with each other.
Wow. So you guys just had, ultimate chemistry. That's awesome, man. So, dog, let's take a step back, dog, because I want to talk about this practice play. Did you body slam or DDT Rob Richter or something? How come they say that when Junior broke his elbow, or no, it hurt him? What happened? Talk about it.
Nobody body slam him. Not on that play. I have body slammed him. I have body slammed him and choked him before, but not on that one.
Dog, what happened, dog? It sounds like something reckless, Junior, like typical off the hinges Junior happened. What happened?
And no, it was simple, man. It was like I was playing nose guard, and they were getting ready to run a pass play. And I heard him call the play, and I just looked at him, and I just told him, don't throw the football. And, he's looking at me like, Junior, shut up, man. We're finna run the play. We don't care that you know the play. Like, just sit there and just play defense, man. Quit talking. So I took it as a little slight, like, oh, he don't think I know the play. So as soon as he said he went to his cadence, they snapped the ball. I jumped over the top of the center, and right when he got ready to cock back to throw the ball, I wanted to knock the ball out of his hand and scoop and score. And right as he got ready to throw, his momentum was going forward and my hand was coming down, and my hand hit the ball. It was just like a freak. It was a freak accident. It wasn't nothing planned. My hand hit the ball at the same time. His hand was coming forward, and my momentum just snatched his arm backwards. And then, like, the force of how hard I was coming down with my hand, like, it just tore his shoulder.
Wow. Dang, boy, that's a bad break. So he missed that whole season?
Yeah.
Yeah? That was a bad break, man. So who replaced him?
Me.
Oh, so you mean to tell me you didn't hurt him on purpose?
No, I didn't hurt him on purpose. What was so crazy? After I hurt him, Byington and Barney thought it was going to be a little joke, like, oh, you want to hurt the quarterback? Let's see how you feel to come back and play quarterback. So they switched me to quarterback, and I could actually play quarterback. So, like, I guess the plan backfired. They ended up switching me from quarterback after like a week or so. They moved me to running back. So it was me and Virgil Lindsay playing right halfback, and then Renal, I think, was playing left, and then we have Bill Varney playing fullback.
Oh, so it's that's crazy, man. Yeah. So, man, we finna get into the meat and potatoes, bro. And this is no cupcake zone, and I'm not going to let you, hold back anything. You're going to have to bust some shots. But anyways, man, so talk about, what your plans were, going into high school. Because I want to see, because there was a lot of, movement, and there was a lot of speculation. Because I remember you coming in as a freshman to our school, we didn't know where the hell you were at. All I knew was your sister went to our school, but you were nowhere to be found. So let's talk about that summer going in, that whole process.
Oh, well, okay. That whole summer going into high school was kind of funny. Well, the whole plan was right after the 96 team, after we had won. That night, after we had won the championship, it was about 20 of us. We all had a meeting in the room, and I don't know why these guys telling other stories, but we all had a plan to go to the same high school. So we all met in one room. We were all talking about, keeping the vibe going to the championship, and, it being crazy. We can take this all the way to high school, and, only way to do that is we just all play together. So it was like, if we all play together, what school we're going to play at? Naples High was obviously out of the question because of how sorry they were at the time. So we were like, all right, we're not gonna go to Naples. And then the other options was like Barron and Laley. And we were all weighing the pros and cons of what team, why to go to this school, and what reason to go to the other schools. And then half
So all
the
of you
thing.
guys?
Yes, man. Like, if you go look at the time we get ready to go into high school, look how many of us were enrolled to go to Laley. It was like a good 6 or 7 of us that were going to Laley's, going to the workouts, doing, you know what I'm saying, with Coach Swanson, with Derek Wallace, with Rodney Francois, all them boys. We were all committed going there to that school. And
Wow.
lo and behold, we're all getting mentioned one day doing workouts, and everybody asking me, like, hey, where your boy at? And I'm like, I don't know where he at. That turned into a week, and then turned into 2 weeks, and then the word came down that he was at Barron College. And this is the whole time, like, we're in summer school, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But the whole time when this is going on, we're in summer school, and this so happens our summer school PE teacher is none other than Coach Tanner.
Huh?
Yes, man. Going into high school, it was that summer school where they give the 8th graders the electives to go to. You can go to summer school to get up on a grade, and you can take PE, and I can't believe there was another class that you could take as an 8th grade, English or something. Right? And it just so happens that there are multiple high school PE teachers for summer school, and Coach Tanner just so happens to end up with like 6 or 8 football players from the Gators in his class.
Wow. So, I mean, not to make any allegation, did you feel like your grade was contingent on complying to something?
Let's put it this way. We all had a conversation with Coach Tanner, and or not had a conversation, but conversations were being had, and some player was being talked to, and things are being said.
Wow. You got to keep it all the way 100, all the way funky, dog. Let that thing stank, man. So you mean to tell me you had all you guys and it was just a coincidence?
Yeah, I guess it was just a coincidence, but I know
this rumor. Validate this rumor. During that time, was there a proposed regime change at Naples High?
Yes. Our coaching staff for the Gators, they were supposed to, I think that was their plan, was to pitch it to Ernie Maduno, that they were going to try to get half the kids from our 96 team to come over to Naples, and that'd be the nucleus of the program that they were gonna have at Naples.
Wow.
Take his whole coaching staff.
So you mean to tell me, and I can't blame none of this on you guys, because you guys are like 14, some of you guys probably 13, 14, 15 years old. So there was a couple people pitching for a package deal. You had one, which was a teacher, and you had a group of adults, and then you had someone, people at Laley pitching a package deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why you have to understand why such and such people were telling on certain players. You got one coach, one school telling on this school, and the other school telling right on the other school, telling them that, hey, your hands is just as dirty as this school, so who are you to be complaining about anything?
So did anybody come up to you and, talk to you and say, hey, you know what? Did you get, somebody threaten you?
Yes. This is what doesn't get said is while Renal was at Laley and he's getting ready to transfer to Barron College, Coach Bradford and Coach Mouton came up to me and was like, listen, you boys don't know what's going on right now. Y'all gonna get into a lot of trouble. And he's like, Junior, I don't even understand how you're playing football at Laley and your parents live right down the street from Naples High School. He's like, how you forget that your sister is enrolled at Naples, and y'all live right down the street.
Did you turn around and say because you suck?
No, that wasn't. I couldn't tell him that. Man, I was a kid at the time. I was just like, "Yo, what is he talking about?" And then the next thing he just tells me, he's like, "Yo, if you step foot on later high school, you dress out, you play, you're looking at forfeiting your whole high school career." And he's like, "You boys just don't know what's getting ready to go down." So they were already hinting that there was investigations. They was looking into everything that we were doing. They were already monitoring. So Naples was already having their nose in the whole recruiting and where we were at and who was with who. And then you guys mentioned, and then Laley had their nose in it too, because, you know, when y'all was supposed to be there, and then all of a sudden he switches, he's at Barron Collier. So they were all basically snitching and complaining on each other about where players were going.
So what did you end up doing that year? Did you play football?
No, I couldn't. I had to sit out. I actually had to sit out. I went into my freshman year, I think I was 175 pounds. Yeah. I had to lose 20 pounds just to go back and play Pop Warner, and end up playing another year on the senior Gators in '97.
Oh, so you ended up playing for the?
I had to sit out. Yeah, I had to sit out of high school. It was like the second or third month, me being at Lilly, I had to transfer and go to Naples High School. There was no way around it. And, they were just telling me, like, listen, my grandparents, we couldn't sign these papers to get temporary custody of me or whatnot. So they were right, my whole athletic career was in jeopardy if I would have stayed at Lilly. So I ended up transferring to Naples and sitting out like my freshman year. I ended up running track towards the end of my freshman year and playing spring football at Naples.
Yeah, I remember that spring that you guys that you played. You came in, it was you and Damien was playing. Wow, man, that's quite a revelation, man. So Laley was supposed to be the destination. Wow.
Yep, that's where we were supposed to all go. And trust me, when he left, man, I had Derek and Rodney, Junior, man, where your boy at? Where you going? I'm like, listen, I don't know. I have no idea.
So you were stranded.
I was stranded with no answers for these guys. I'm looking like, hey, he didn't even tell me he was going.
So when you went to Naples, I mean, what did you expect? Were you really? I know you were probably pretty happy because everybody else was rejoicing when that old regime got ousted. How happy were you?
No, I was elated because my whole thing was I had sat down with my parents and I told them there's no way I'm playing football at Naples High School. So either we worked this thing out to have me go to Barron. That was my next thing, was to go to Barron. Or I was going to go up to Tallahassee and stay with live with my uncle and play football up in Leon County. I was going to go all the way up to, up there in Big Bend area and play. And it was, I just started hearing all these rumors that, he was gone and there was going to be new coaches. And I was like looking forward to it because, part of me hearing about new coaches was the possibility of Coach Mouton, and then there was a possibility of Gator coaches. So it was like, all right, they might have two coaching staff that I might like playing for.
Yeah.
So I stuck around to see who was the new coach, and then just happened to be Coach Kramer.
Wow, man. So, God, I remember that year, man, because I was stuck in a haze. I played freshman football. And then my sophomore year, I played spring, but I was, let's just say I was in a haze, like for 2 years.
Yeah, I tell you, man.
I was in a haze for like 2 years, man. Some days I would go to school, and some days I would not go to school and play video games. But anyways, man, I'll never forget, man, the first time I saw Coach Dollar and Coach Kramer. Like, they looked like Coach Kramer looked like an auditor, Like he was coming in to audit the school, and Coach Dollar just looked like his sidekick. That was just like they look like auditors, like they feel like some taxmen. He looked like he worked for the IRS or something. Yeah. But anyways, what was crazy, he knew everybody's name and basically their background, and he kind of like read me right away. He knew I was kind of not a knucklehead, but like that guy that wasn't, you had to push me a little bit,
Yeah, he called me one day and he put me into the office with him and Coach Dollar, and he's just like, listen, we know you're a good player. We've heard all good things about you, but this is not Pop Warner anymore. If you think we're going to hold your hand and we're going to babysit you, or we're going to put up with your attitude that we've been hearing about, you got another thing coming. This is my football team, and I run the show, and everything's going to go the way I say it. If you don't like it, you better find another school to play for, and it better not be a school in Carter County, because if it is, we're going to bring it to you every night. So I'm looking at this dude like, who is this man? Who is he talking to? Who do you think he's talking to? First of all, I wanted to swing on him.
Oh, man.
I'm listening to him. I'm like, all right, okay. We're going to see what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like, Coach Kramer was a funny cat, man. It's like, he was one of those people, like, he was real dismissive of you unless you did something or proved something or did something. Like, it was hard. I mean, I want to say it's hard to get his attention, but if you're a nobody, he'll just look past you. But if you did something or somebody, he'll acknowledge you. And it was hard. Once you got his acknowledgement, you had it. But if you didn't, it was hard to get. If that makes sense. Like, you had to do something.
He's just coming from a whole different coast of football, where we expected over here we're so spoiled, where everybody get a play. You get your 6 plays in Pop Warner, your 8 plays, your guaranteed playing time. They come from a culture where it's like, if you're not making a name for yourself on the football field, what you're doing, you're just satisfied with having a uniform on, and they don't have time for players and people with that type of mentality.
Yeah.
So his whole culture is like, yo, you only got so many reps. What are you doing with your reps? If you wasting reps and you're not trying to make an impression, then you're not even worth the energy. Like, I wouldn't be invested in it in you either. Now that I look at it and think about it,
you remember the whole culture of Naples High was so fucked up. Like, he came in there and changed everything. I remember we never watched film. Our weightlifting was atrocious. It was like a little shack. He came in there and built a state-of-the-art facility right away. You remember how we used to have like a whole football team of jersey wearers. There were all these ineligible kids that used to be on the sideline rocking their Naples High jersey. Never played a lick ever.
Never.
You remember those dudes?
Yeah,
they used to practice all the time, and then they just, it was like made a fashion statement on the sideline. And Coach Kramer came in, and he's like, man, if you ain't made the grades, you ain't on. I mean, get off the field. You know what I'm saying? If you were hurt, you couldn't be on the sideline.
Exactly. I remember I had experienced that my senior year. Like, I didn't get on the field sometimes, even when I was hurt. And yeah, you're right, man. I remember the culture. That's why I wanted to stay away from Naples. I was like, here I come from playing Pop Warner, playing on the Gators, or we undefeated. We rarely lose. And then coming to a high school, y'all accustomed to losing.
Right.
I can't be around that. My attitude, I would have fought everybody on the football team. I don't like losing. And just to see people being okay with it, no. That would have been a good school. It would have been a good situation for me to play in. So I'm glad that it changed quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Man, Thug, I remember that spring, bro. It was, you remember the spring football game, man? And you probably don't remember this, man. I remember it because I decided to have some fun the night before, and because it was it's blue and gold game, or nobody cares about that, or what? No, it was actually a scrimmage. It wasn't a blue and gold game. All I remember was like a Saturday afternoon, bro. Oh my God. I decided to go out the night before, in high school. When you're in high school, you're drinking nothing but cheap stuff. OE.
Some Cisco? Some Mad Dog?
Oh, man. I remember this one play, man. Like, all I hear from you was like, oh, shit. I totally missed, too.
I know the play you're talking about. You're talking about a play where I probably reversed field like 7 times.
You saw me come in, you were like, oh, shit. And I just totally missed. I was like, oh, man. It was like the worst game I ever had in my life.
I know the play you're talking about.
Oh, my God.
That was the revelation. I was terrified. I'm 14 years old. They done threw a pass to me. I done caught it. And I got everybody yelling full speed, Junior! I'm like, no, nobody's finna hit me this play. And I cut back so many times.
That's crazy, man. When they came in, this I know how bad the program was. The year before, Laley had destroyed Naples High. Talking about destroyed Naples High in the Coconut Bowl. And Coach Dollar got there. And we were watching film because we were preparing to play them in the jamboree or that that game, whatever. But anyways, they ran one play the whole game, and Coach Bradford them could not figure out how to beat a trap. They ran the trap over and over and over and over and beat them like 55 to like 7 or something like that just from one play.
Which is so believable.
And Coach Kramer and Coach Dollar was like, you got to be kidding me. So the first thing that we learned was how to beat a trap. I swear, I think we spent the whole spring learning how to beat a trap. Like squeeze. Like Coach Dollar used to get that little spit in his mouth. Like, you got to squeeze that down. You got to squeeze that down. Squeeze, Marseille. Come up under that trap. Knock his dick in the dirt.
Yeah. You're just taking me back, man. You're taking me back to Naples High. You put me back on the practice field. You put me right next to Coach Dollar. I can't do it right now. That's just too much.
Hey, hold on, Junior. We're going to take a short little break, bro.
Okay.
And we back in the building. But anyways, man, Coach Dollar, bro. Oh, my God, dog. Dog, I remember, I have a couple stories, man. But the story that I remember the most, man, was that one story. It was me and Shad. We were messing with him. Shad used to always fuck with him. And we didn't know Coach Dollar that much. We didn't know Coach Kramer that much either. But, unless you played offense, you never really had that many interactions with Kramer because, it was like a college program, so everything was separated. But anyways, Shaw was like, Coach Dollar, Shaw just messed with him like, Coach Dollar, you ain't getting no pussy, are you? And then he was like, Coach Dollar was like, where, we were asking, he was like, so where's your wife at? He was like, she's back in Oklahoma. This is a true story, dog. So she was like, So what happened? You didn't bring her with her? He's like, nah. At first he didn't want to talk about it, right? And then he was like, nah. And it was like, we kept asking her. She's like, well, she told me it's either football or me. So we was like, so what happened? What you told her? She's like, football. He looked at us crazy, dog. Like, you really think that I was gonna choose my wife over football? You must be crazy.
No, people don't understand this man's level of dedication to this game.
Hey, you know what, dog? I about fell out, dog, when I found out that Coach Dollar. I was really happy for Coach Dollar to find out that he had sons, right?
Oh man,
this is like because one of my coworkers plays with his two sons, and I'm like, all right, ain't no way. Let me find out, because it crossed my mind. Please don't tell me, dog, that like he would do this, but I had to ask anyways. So I asked, what's his son's name? Both of them, Sam and Will. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. This guy is off the chain.
That's the name for real, Sam and Will. You think this man's ever going to not name his kid linebacker position?
Oh, my God. I'll never forget that one time, boy. He was so excited to implement the bear defense, boy. You would thought it was like, a piece of vagina or something, boy. He was so happy about it. Like that position. What's that? There's a position on there where you kind of roll around. Like, I think he put James Cody at that position. Like the rover or whatever, but
yeah,
he was like,
I thought it was Edson.
Well, no, it was Edson. It was Edson. He was like, yeah. You. I mean, this is a position that's the best position. You better know where you're at. Like, he was like talking to him like, you better not fuck this up. Get your ass off the field, boy. That boy, Coach Dollar was hilarious, bro. He was a funny ass dude, man. What I still can't understand is how they're not. I mean, I'm sure they are, but I can't believe he's still at Naples High. I can't believe somebody hasn't made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. Not that I want him to leave Naples High, but wow, how does that happen? He's like one of the best coaches around the state.
Easy. This is why Coach Dollar is not a high school coach. And if Coach Dollar hears this interview, I don't want him to take it the wrong way, but Coach Dollar is not a people person for the high school level. I cannot see him dealing with parents coming up to him and complaining about playing time for their child. You know what Coach Dollar is going to tell him? He's going to give him the 100% blood raw truth. Your son sucks. He's not good. And what you want me to do? He's only good for Jay-Z. I'm only dressing him out because I need the numbers. Like, people going to hear the reality out of Coach Dollar's mouth, and I don't think that's going to bode well with players and their parents. So keep him as an assistant, or give this man a head college coaching job or an NFL job or high school. No, not unless you want to keep your program.
Man, dog. Man, you remember Coach Horn, boy? Coach Horn was having a baby every month. Like, you remember that guy? Him and Coach Kerskowski. I swear, man. I came back like a year later, man. And I think they had like 4 kids apiece, bro. Like 2 in the same year. Coach Kramer had a gang of kids too, but dang, those kids. I don't know about Coach Lamont. I don't think Coach Lamont had a whole bunch of kids, but I remember Coach Horn.
He didn't have. No, I don't think Coach Lamont had a lot, but you got to think about it. You're living in paradise. Your football team's doing good. You're winning. when you're in a peaceful environment, why are you not going to have kids? If they're not having kids, there's something wrong in their relationship. So what you see is a revelation of them having a good time, them being in paradise, and having the ideal living situation.
Yeah.
They better have at least 20 kids.
Dang, boy. They had a gang of kids, man. But that spring, man, that game was like the worst game I've ever played in my whole career, bro. Lately, I was on skates like that whole game, bro. They pummeled us.
They actually only beat us. It was actually tied. I don't even think they beat us in the spring. I remember I had caught a bomb on Ronnie in their safety. They put us down on the 10-yard line, and I think they stopped us, and we either made a field goal or missed a field goal. But
yeah.
That game was one of the games where I knew that I was able to play on the high school level, being just a freshman, and then playing against a good defense. Because I know that time they had some studs on their defense.
Yeah, they do. They did. They had I don't know if your cousin played there when you were freshman.
My cousin was playing.
He played middle linebacker.
I don't know if Dwayne, he might have played middle linebacker that year, or he played on the defensive line. I know they had Derek Wallace played linebacker. Then they had Ronnie DeLuz. They had I think what was his name? Kevin Kirby, maybe, whatever this kid.
Yeah. You mentioned Ronnie DeLuz, man. You want to talk about a dude that had, from an athletic standpoint, had all the tools, bro. Speed. I don't know about power, but that guy can jump. He was big, man. Yeah, man, that spring game was crazy, bro. They just kept running and running. Man, we couldn't do nothing to stop that shit, man. We were, practicing to try to run to stop the trap, but they just kept running the option on us. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, going into that freshman year, that sophomore year, man, did you expect us to really do anything? Because you probably had the mentality. You gotta think about your mentality. You really have never lost really on a consistent basis before in any sport, huh?
No, never. I had never lost. Like that whole coming into high school, I had always lost in a championship game. Like that's where I was at in my life. Like I was at the I was either winning the national championship or I was playing in the national championships in basketball, football, and then playing all-stars and baseball and all that. I was always playing to the highest level. So me losing at anything, I was never accustomed to it. So coming into that year, I thought we were going to be. I knew we were going to win.
Yeah, yeah, man. From the first play of your high school career, and I'll never forget it, man. Talk about that, man. That first play, man. And Coach Kramer talked about it, that you guys were going to score, and you guys did.
Oh, the first play that we ever had in high school with me and Dwayne Coleman. The first play we ever ran, Coach Kramer told us he's like coming into it. He knew what kind of players we were in Pop Warner, and then he saw it on Port Charlotte. The defense went. Anytime you ever line somebody up in a slot, they would never bring the man to come line up on them. So he said, you know what we should do is put Dwayne Coleman and put Junior Denson. We're gonna put you two guys in the slot. And we're just going to run you guys on a go pattern. We're going to send everybody. We're going to send the wide receivers, and we're going to send all you guys right down the field. There's no way they're going to be able to pick. There's no way they're going to be able to stay with you guys. And he said, we want to score on the first play. There's nobody that can run with you guys. Just run down the field and just throw. He told Rob to throw the football to either Junior or Dwayne, and it's going to be a touchdown. And we ran the play, and exactly what he said. We were both wide open, and he just threw the ball to Wayne, and it was a touchdown. And then history was on. That game I came back and I think I had 3 touchdowns that game.
Man, the Anthony Hardgrove was on that team, man.
Yeah, I seen Anthony Hargrove, and I think they had one other player, maybe a lineman that may have went somewhere where I can't necessarily be.
Yeah, I sacked that big motherfucker. At the time, I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, that dude was huge. That man was huge. He was a monster.
Yeah. I think it was on the highlight tape. I got to get that highlight tape, man. I wonder if anybody out there has that highlight tape from 98, holla at me, man, because I need to see that thing again. Yeah, man.
That 98 year was pretty crazy. That was the first year there. And what a lot of people don't remember is, we started off 3-0 and
3 straight shutouts. 3 straight shutouts.
We also remember Rusty, like right after, that's when the whole thing happened with Rusty Larrabelle.
Oh yeah, man.
That was the big momentum killer. Whoa.
Oh, it was. I don't know, man. It was some adversity, big time. What happened was, and I don't know who bright idea was it. For us to play on a Wednesday because there was a hurricane coming. And we ended up going to Cypress Lake to play in the middle of the week. And they beat us. And next thing you know, we dropped 7 straight. But in that same week, I think the week right after, Rusty was playing in that JV game, and I remember he was. I mean, God bless his soul, man. But he was going to be a hell of a football player because he was dominating them.
Yeah, dominating on JV. Yeah, huh? Rusty was the talk as the next kid that was going to come up in JV and play, and he was going to help out my senior class. Rusty was he was part of my senior class with Stanley and Al, and he was going to be the mission cog who had him either on offense and defense. Yeah. And having him pass in the middle of the season like that, really I think that took our spirit from the team because we didn't know what happened. We thought it was a football related injury. So I know half the people wasn't going as hard as they were. People were scared that if they got hit the wrong way, they were going to be next. It was very hard at that time.
But that was actually a real big event that a lot of people don't talk about, man. And that's crazy that happened in that year. And wow, that's crazy. But that had to been even more satisfying for Dwayne them to take the state championship like 3 years later, knowing the adversity that we had, went through that first year, man. Because that's big, man. A person pretty much dies on the field, man.
He died on the football field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your classmate, man. And that was the whole rallying cry behind those two graduating classes where we're going to do this for Rusty. We're doing this for Rusty. His spirit lived on in the weight room. He was a kid that never complained about nothing. The coaches could push him as hard as they wanted to. He was not going to complain, not coming out. He was the impediment of what they were trying to do at Naples High School.
You know what's crazy about that guy? Because Benji and was it Josh's brother? They came from I think they came from Missouri. He just had got down here, and like Rusty was like cut. I don't think he ever lifted weights before, but he was like strong. It looked like he was made to play football. You know what I'm saying? Hard worker, always like first, like trying to compete with everybody. Just like the embodiment of what Coach Kramer and them won. And he went down like that. That's just kind of crazy how the world works. Like the player that embodied everything that you want and what you're trying to accomplish goes away like right out the gate.
Yeah, and not just goes away. He passed like in a tragedy.
Yeah.
He died on the football field, and they were Coach Kramer and them were the last people that what he was consciously talking to in life, having a conversation with these football coaches and the Naples High family. And just remember that day. I remember that week. The vigils that we would have. We would leave practice and we would all be at the hospital for 2 and 3 hours having candlelight vigils. The whole school, the whole community of Naples. There were so many people coming out to the hospital and just standing outside of his window praying and just hoping that this kid would wake up. Never woke up.
Yeah, that definitely, even though it didn't show up in the scoreboard, that did definitely bring us all together, man. Like even the pregame meals. You remember the pregame meals? Everybody was involved with that.
Oh yeah,
it was like a close family.
The best brownies ever.
Yeah. Everybody used to look forward to that. You know what I'm saying? Used to look forward to that. Coming to school wearing a shirt and tie, even though it was a nuisance for a lot of people, but it did instill that camaraderie amongst us. We felt like a family, and what was good about that, it meant something to represent Naples High. You know what I'm saying? And that's huge. And I think that was what was missing in the years prior. Because when we played for Bradford and all them, I mean, you wasn't a part of something. Everybody had a little clique. Howard and all them had their little clique. But I guess they were a little more closer. But everybody else was like, kind of scattered. But when Coach Kramer came, we were all together, held each other accountable. We had a team committee. You remember that team committee?
Oh, yeah. I was on team committee my senior year. So I definitely remember that. Yeah,
they tried to put me on team committee, but I don't know what happened, but I think I was going to get voted in there, but I'm glad I didn't because I'm not one of those rah-rah guys.
Yeah, much.
Yeah. But they went off on some retreat, I remember, and those guys that were on team committee are still pretty, cool with each other. And I'm generally cool with everybody that, I played football with, man. So that was good. Yeah, man.
That team committee, that whole retreat that's how do you say, that's one of those things where you won't forget the bond that you build with your fellow football players and with your brothers. Yeah. That trip in itself is something special. You just gotta be on the team committee to know what that experience is like, man. It's crazy, it's unique.
Yeah, man. But we finished that year, and whatever. It was good. I'm still glad that it happened. But talk about the next year, man. Did you have any idea that you guys had something special? Because remember, your quarterback was wearing a neck brace and running the option. And he wasn't wearing numbers in the teens or single digits either. He was a fullback or linebacker / something, and he's running the option. Did you have any idea you guys had something special?
Yeah, we knew Stanley could play quarterback from the whole time when we played Pop Warner. It's just that, like I said, when you have that batty ball, you'll have a kid playing in the wrong position up until the time he's 20 or he's begging somebody to give him a shot. We always known that Stanley could throw the football. He could play quarterback. He was supposed to be a quarterback a couple times on the teams that we played, and, they overlooked him for other players. And when we went to a couple of passing camps, I believe we went to Down and Dirty or Bishop Belligan camp,
we were watching Bruce, and we were watching the connection that Stanley was having with Kennard and the other wide receivers. And we were like, hey, if they got this on the outside, if we can get teams to back up and don't put 8 or 9 in the box, we're going to be hard to stop. And then when people started backing up and started respecting Bruce and started respecting Kennard, and then we had Joe Wise at tight end, we were like, okay, yeah, this is something special, because now that they're up, we got lanes to run in. We're going to kill people. We knew it. We saw it evident in 707 when we first team we played was Laley doing the 707 in that spring, and they couldn't stop Bruce. And we said, uh-oh, we got something.
Wow. So, like, how does it feel, like, looking back and knowing that you were part of a long list? I mean, actually one of the first of a long list of that regime's, running backs, because, man, you were at the top of the pedigree. If you look at, way before, like Carlos Hyde, Jamel Eugene, I mean, the list goes on and on. Does that just be like, do you sit back sometimes and be like, man, wow, I was that guy before all these guys?
Well, sometimes I do laugh because I have a mixed feelings about it, because if you go look on any of their websites, they don't even mention my name. I didn't even go to college. Like, I didn't get no scholarship, or I'm not even, like, my name is nowhere to be mentioned in the conversations that they have about Naples High running backs or anything like that. So sometimes I look back and say, oh, yeah, I was the first, and I got all these different types of awards and different things, but hindsight is, that's the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, to be the first, to be acknowledged amongst your peers, that's okay.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So that year, man, you guys ended up losing like a tiebreaker, right?
Yeah, we ended up losing. We lost a tiebreaker for the district championship. We lost to Venice, and we ended up coming back and losing to Charlotte in the second place game. But by that year, they had the wild card, and we had made it into the playoffs because our record was good enough, and we ended up playing Tampa Hillsborough in the first round. Mm-hmm. But we had the district championship sold up against Venice, and somebody decided to hold on a touchdown run, on one of my touchdown runs, and run got called back, and we ended up losing 13-7 to them. So.
Wow. Then, so who was the person that held, man?
Big old Earl, man. It wasn't even his fault. I ended up catching the DB in the open field, and I put a move on him, and the guy ended up turning around in a circle. And when he turned around, he was stumbling, and he just like fell into Earl, almost just like caught him. Like, it was one of those things like dude stumbling, and Earl just at the last second sees him, and he like catches him, and they called a holding call on Earl. And I was like, oh man, if he wasn't even standing near this guy, I walked into the end zone, because you look on tape, I just jogged right into the end zone, and we look back, and there's flags all over the field, and I'm like, oh God.
Boy.
Yeah, game's over or something. Like, the game's over. You don't have to touch him, you don't have to do nothing. I walked into the end zone and look back, and there's flags everywhere.
Shout out to Earl, man, for real, bro. Hey.
Yeah, that was another player, man. I wish Earl would have had more time with Coach Kramer and him, because he could have developed into a good defensive player. Yeah. And a good tight end.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a step back. Barron that year, man. How satisfying was that? Because I remember I came back to watch that game, and Bree G was absolutely doodling on them. I think he had like 3 touchdowns. And I remember the touchdown that you ran backwards. Talk about that moment. Because somebody did that to us the year before. Talk about how good it was to pay them back and to, tear their goalposts down and have them go on the news and cry like a bunch of babies and start saying, oh, well, that was ridiculous. Anyways, man.
It felt good. It felt good. Listen,
anyways,
it felt
the people,
damn good.
hold on, let me say this. The people from Barron that went on the news, wrote the paper, and bellyached in public, kill yourself.
Fall on something sharp, a sharp instrument.
Go run on the busy highway, suckers. Go ahead,
man, we enjoyed it that whole time. Leading up into the week, I had told the guy that was listening, if I score, I'm doing to Renault what he did to us last year. Everybody's like, anytime I get into this end zone, this game, I'm finna embarrass them. I'm finna show them. I'm finna just let loose on these guys. I hated Barron with a passion, especially that being a year that was the team I had ended up dislocating my shoulder, having shoulder surgery. So I was like, just last year at this time, I was getting my shoulders worked on and getting repaired, so I'm gonna pay you guys back.
I remember that run, man. It was broke out. Man, it looked like your shoulder was like broken, man. I think that was on a highlight tape.
Oh yeah, it was my sophomore year.
Couldn't run anymore.
Yeah, it was my sophomore year. I ended up dislocating it in the first half. I dislocated my shoulder, and they ended up cutting the jersey off and temporarily putting me in a different jersey and had me, with a little bracer or whatnot on. And when I broke out, made a move on somebody and went to raise my hand to stiff arm me. I don't know the momentum or what happened, but my whole shoulder turned and went in the opposite direction. So my shoulder was dislocated. I'm just thinking, we got to score this touchdown to win. So I just took off for another 15 or 20 yards with my arm facing the other direction.
Yeah, man. As much things that they did to us, they want to cry about some damn goalposts. Throwing bouncy balls at our basketball games, throwing dead fish and shit on our campus, spray painting shit. It serves them right, man. But all I remember was Corey Morgan, right after the game was over, just charging it like he was it was like he was the leader of 300. It was like, charge!
It was everybody. The whole thing, it was like at least 12 of us all standing next to each other. And I remember me and Corey saying,
he had that blonde hair, that Cisco haircut or whatever. And he just charge! Everybody just took off, bro.
That's the whole thing. We were telling people in the stands, as the clock was winding down, we're telling everybody in the stands and in the bleachers, listen, y'all get close to the fence because when it hit 0-0, we going to the goalpost. And then I know 10, I just started counting 10, 9. Everybody was like, go post. And as soon as the clock hit 0-0, I just remember everybody jumping in the fence, Corey yelling charge, and everybody full speed ran straight to the goalpost. It was like a scene out of Planet of the Apes. You see you would just jump up, latch on, and it came down and bent into that W.
That was hilarious, dog. I think Barron needs to go find that goalpost somewhere in a junkyard and put it back up. Because ever since then, they can't win it. I don't think they can even sniff a victory to Naples. I don't even think they have came close at all.
I think they have maybe a few years ago. I think they came within a touchdown or whatnot. One year they pushed them real close to actually almost beating Naples, but they're never going to beat them because they don't understand the secret of playing Naples. But Naples took their heart from them.
Yeah. Damn, man. So that year, man, What was some notable players you remember playing against, man?
I think we played against Shannon Snell out of Temple Hillsboro. He ended up going to the University of Florida, and I think he ended up playing maybe for the Buccaneers, or he played a few years on another team. We ended up playing. I'm trying to remember that year. It's still a blurred. A lot of the guys that we played, they didn't make it to the league, but they were notable college players.
Right. Yeah. You remember playing Mockley? Because I think they beat you guys that year.
Yeah. We played in Mockley that year. I didn't even play against Mockley that game.
Who's their star? Because they always had a bunch of stars.
I think they had Eric Dobson was the big player. Eric was I think the kid that I remember scoring on us. Eric Dobson, that wide receiver, and St. Vilas. I think that was the running back name, Cedric St. Vilas.
Okay. Cedric St. Vilas.
They had Walter Campbell. They had Walter Campbell, William Rowe, Brian Rowe, older brother, Walner, Gary Houston, and some other cats they had.
Is that the year that they were runner-up to state in Class 2A or something?
Yeah, I believe so. They lost to Miami Gullah Prep with Sean Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the year.
Yeah.
Because going into that year, it was we were on Mount Rushmore. Me, Ronnie DeLuce-May, and Ronald Joseph, and I think the fullback from Estero. And those are the four running backs, or top running backs in the county at the time.
The fullback from Estero, I can't remember his name, is big guy.
Big.
Yeah, runner. I forgot what his name. I don't think they had David Hall. I think he graduated. He was. I remember he was a good quarterback when they played. They used to run the option, but they had that one fullback that used to always get the ball. I forgot what that guy's. He played my senior year too. I got to remember what his name is. But was Trey Smith playing for Venice that year you played?
Yeah, Trey Smith, Ardell Daniels. Ardell ended up going to the Army. So they had Trey Smith, Ardell Daniels, and there was another kid I think played for Venice. We ended up having a kid that came down from Venice that we had played against some Pop Warners. His name Ricky Martin. He ended up coming from Venice and playing at Naples High School, and he just so happened to be playing with us right after we had beat them on one of the Gators.
Oh. Yeah. Did you guys played Bradenton Manatee that year too, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we played Bradenton Manatee. That was the game where we finally put Naples High on the map as far as teams around the states took us serious, you know what I'm saying?
I thought Charlotte did, because you guys beat Charlotte, and
we beat Charlotte, but to go up to that next level, to Bradenton Manatee, to the teams that already had established state championships, and they were dominant. They had dominated Charlotte during that time period. To go there and then to give them a run for their money, to actually have them on the hills to the point where we were leading at one point, that put us in the conversation of being one of the teams to watch in 5A the next coming year.
Yeah. They had Jashawn Platt and Bruce Gibson, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, Bruce Gibson he graduated in '99, so that year that we played him, Deshaun Platt was just a junior. So,
yeah, I remember he was supposed to be all world, but you guys shut him down, right?
We shut him down. He got one pass. He caught a slant over the middle, and he beat our DBs to the end zone. But other than that, he only had one catch the whole game. Ended up getting popped on another play and didn't want the ball no more the rest of the game.
Yeah, who was Dean him up? Was it Reggie Carter?
Reggie Carter had him. Reggie Carter had him the whole game. Ron was on him, beat him up the whole game. except for one play that he beat him on. The rest of that, Reggie shut him down.
Huh. Well, you guys had him and Willie Bryce on the corners, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Man. So let's move on to the junior year, man. Or no, that was your junior year. Your senior year, man. Junior. Talk about the expectations, man.
Going into my senior year, the expectations, I was ready that was going to be my breakout year. Coming from my junior years, I had rushed for 1,000 yards in like 9 games because there were 2 or 3 games my junior year I had missed with my ankle being hurt. Mm-hmm. So coming off a 1,000-yard season, first year going into the playoffs, I had put on at least 15 or 20 pounds going into my senior year. I had just had a big game against Denson in the spring. I was getting recruited by NC State, Georgia, I had Florida, had all these schools coming down. I just knew my senior year, like I was going to dominate this area, and I was finally going to separate myself from these other running backs. And coming into it, 1 week before the season started, I ended up having a freak accident on the play in the blue and gold game, and ended up tearing a tendon in my ankle and missed the first three games going into my senior year, and never quite knew the extent of my injury. I played my senior year with two torn tendons in my ankle. I couldn't even really plant my foot to push off or run or anything. I had no stability in it.
Wow. So, were you guys, when you came back in, man, how did you guys finish that year? Talk about that year.
We played the first 2 games of the year. I think the first 2 or 3 games, we played Port Charlotte. And then there was a game against Gulf Coast. And that third game I ended up coming back we played Charlotte. We played Charlotte on the Sunshine Network. I ended up getting my cast cut off on a Wednesday. Went to practice that afternoon. Took contact drills. That Thursday went through the walkthrough, and on Friday was playing. And from that point on, we ended up losing to Venice and Chaminade as well as a Immokalee. So we had 3 losses during the regular season. Going into the playoffs, we ended up playing Brains and Manatee again in the playoffs, and that's they put an end to my high school career. But that whole year, we were up and down and fluctuating with almost being on the verge of doing something special and getting caught up because we ended up losing to Venice again by 2 points. And in that game, we were missing BG. We were missing Bruce. Dwayne got suspended for the first half. So we ended up losing to the team that ended up winning the state 77-14 by 2 points. And we didn't even have BG. And like I said, Dwayne didn't even play the first half.
That's got to be kind of frustrating, man. So
yeah.
Basically, I know you got to feel like you were supposed to be in that championship.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in that championship because look at it in hindsight. The next year, Naples had that 01 class. They won state champ. They won states. And the following year, we had about a better offense in 2000 than they did in 2001. So to watch them come back and win it a year when your offense was better the year prior, and you feel like you would have been that missing piece, that bothered the mess out of us. But I was more happy for them than anything because it was just it signified that hey, we said that it was going to happen within our class that we were going to win a state championship, and I felt like through them I had won a state championship. So I won no matter which way you looked at it.
Yeah,
so we won.
Man, so that year, man, talk about some notable players that you played against.
Yeah, you got your Trey Smith, you got your John Beeson. John Beeson played for Chaminade when we ended up playing him. Like Ardell Daniels. We ended up playing Adrian McPherson. We ended up playing against Brains and Manatee, who was playing against Southeast when they had McPherson. Then locally, I can't remember too many other players.
Yeah. Were your graduating class, was Rob Richter and Marko Vakovic there with you, or they the year before?
They're the year before.
Okay.
They're the year before.
Okay.
I'm in 2000. They're class of 99.
Okay. Who was in your class?
Me, Stanley Bryan, and Al Green, and Garrett Perone.
Yeah. Garrett Perone, I remember him. He went Duquesne University, right? Duquesne or something like that. Yeah. Hey, during those practices, man, I remember they used to have inside drill, man. I know Coach Dollar wasn't holding anybody back, man. Name some players that were a nuisance in those drills.
I always say anybody was a nuisance, man. I used to always get told to calm down and not go full speed. There's people that want to hit me going full speed.
Who was the person? I mean, I know there was one pit bull on y'all team. I was gonna ask you that question, and that was kind of a layup. Who out of those teams, like when you were in high school, who would you take if you had a back alley fight with? I mean, say if you were in a back alley and somebody came at you, besides Luke Dickerson, who would you bring with you?
Well, no, who would I bring with me in the back alley in a fight?
Yeah.
Well, man, the easy, that's BG. If you know it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it's real, man. I've had incidents with me and BG having to check some people, so I already know what to expect with him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
BG would be the first.
Yeah, I heard you guys had a big brawl over at Fleshman, man.
Yeah, behind BG with Laley. During my junior year, doing 7-on-7, nobody from Laley could guard BG, and I think they ended up taking a cheap shot at him. And long story short, Luke Dickerson took offense to it. Our whole team took offense to the cheap shot that he had put on BG, and we decided to tell him, hey, after this is over, we gonna meet y'all over at Fleshman. And we met him over at Fleshman, and they lost in 7-on-7, and they lost at Fleshman.
Yeah, you guys put hands and feet all over him, huh?
Hands, feet, garden tools. Shot had a garden rake. Shot pulled out a shovel, garden rake, baseball bats. I mean, everything.
You guys was yeah.
It like he had the cheat code to Grand Theft Auto before before Grand Theft Auto had the codes. They pulled out every weapon you could think of.
Yeah. So, who was the best teammate, man, that you had that you could say to this day? You know, it could be Pop Warner, high school. Who was the best teammate that you ever had?
All of them. Every last one of them I played with them because I can pick up the phone to this day and still go talk to all of them.
But if you had to pick that one, you know, keep it 100. That
I can't. I can't. I can't. I'm dead serious. I can't because you got to remember, you can have a fallout with your brother, and be mad at him today, and then forgive him a week later, and then you can say that's my favorite now. And then it'd be the same way with the other one. It depends on who you're around and who's your favorite. That's all. That's all it really was with us, especially with me, with the group of people I played with. Is whoever I'm around right now, that's the one who I'm gonna tell you that's my best teammate.
Okay.
So anytime you see me around with one of them, that's the best one.
All right. And you're going to keep this 100. And this is not just exclusive to Naples High. This is any team. Who would be the one player or the one person, if you could have that blindside hit on them and get away with it, who would you take it on?
Any player,
the one player that you owe one to.
Oh, that I owe one to?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. Like that's kind of hard to say who I owe something to.
That you owe one. I have one player I know I owe one to. So everybody has that, man. If I could just catch him on a kickoff return. They're not looking, just put one on them.
Oh man, let me see. It has to be somebody like. I think what I really would want, I think it's probably one player in high school. It's probably 1-on-1 with Oscar.
Oscar who?
Walker.
Walker?
Yeah, and
an Oklahoma drill or just a fair one?
It don't matter. It don't matter wherever we could have caught each other in the open field. I remember my junior year, I had broke out against Barry. And it was a run where I'm running towards the sideline, and I like kind of do the Walter Payton on one of the DBs where I high step on him and then take off. Where the DB jump on my back and he do a cowboy collar and he's like bringing me down. And somehow, some way, Oscar comes in at the last minute and he pops me in the helmet. So it makes it look like he hit me harder than what he really hit me. And he starts bragging about this tackle. And I'm like, where were you at this whole time? And every time I broke out, I was running full speed, and you pulling the deal and let me run.
Where your ass was at?
Yeah, where your ass is at? So I was so mad. I'm like, yo, he got this one moment to shine, and everybody bragging on his shit. And I'm like, no, he's been running the whole damn game, and now he got one play, and y'all want to dig him up. And hell no, I'm going to get out a revelation. I'm going to put a boom on his ass next time I see him.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Oscar, man. Yeah. He was a grade behind you, right? Or 2 grades behind you?
Yeah, he was 2 grades. I would never want to take a cheap shot on him and hit him. But I'd want to say, hey, I'm running to the right. You meet me on the corner. You meet me on this angle. I'd want to do that.
Oh, okay.
I want to like, you know, go head on head with him and have him know that that's our intentions, and then that's what I like to see.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Man, I'm gonna take a quick break, Junior, man.
All right,
man.
Yep.